Oh, hello, Christian Gadfly.
Why are you in the dark and look so creepy?
Well, that's a two-part question that deserves a two-part answer. I'm in the dark because I'm not in my usual live stream setting. Why do I look so creepy? Is because look at me, get an extreme close-up. It's genetic, I think. I think it has to do with the Nag Hammadi Gospels and Bigfoot. There's something there. That's probably the best explanation I could come up with. Why do
I
you look
just,
so handsome? Is a reciprocal question. Probably
oh,
probably the
shucks.
same things.
So, speaking of looking handsome, I don't look quite as handsome in the thumbnail that I just put up. For those who are wondering why we're here on a Tuesday night, it's because Steve was a whiny baby
I
and he
was.
wasn't ready on Monday because he said that there was a bunch of stuff more important to him than you guys, and he wanted to go do that instead of doing a live stream. But he was like, because the world revolves around me, though, I want to do another live stream tomorrow when I'll be available because my schedule is all that matters. And so Chris and I were like, okay, I guess we'll do that.
Well, and then it turns out now I'm out here on 16% battery, and I'll have to all that important stuff that I was running my mouth about will have to come up for next week. But this is what in the industry we call uh,
Is the
foreshadowing.
power out in your home?
No, no, I'm pacing outside.
Plug in your phone, goof troop.
Well, here's the thing. Uh, Speaking of the power being possibly being out of my home, I was kind of at that point, and so that's why I wanted to just jump on real quick in my limited battery capacity and my terrible lighting. I just wanted to say I was uh, I was nearing the brink of financial ruin, and I was asking God to step in, and I don't know what to do. And tonight I just had a meeting with my boss, and I uh, I was without even me having to state my case for the situation I was in. I was offered a substantial raise to the point where I'm going to be financially very good, and something I didn't expect or uh, have any reason to expect. And so I just wanted to get on. I didn't want to derail you guys. I'll save all my silly, slippery Jewish stuff for next week. But I did want to say just publicly how grateful I am to God for His provision because He did it, and uh, it's just nice to give Him glory in front of everyone else because he's awesome and he deserves it. So that's awesome. I'm just couldn't be happier right now. I think, and so and it's all thanks to God and His provision for me, and so I really wanted to say that. Uh, and also, I missed you guys last night. That was I was able to watch like three-fourths of the stream after I got home from what I was my selfish things I was doing last night, and it was a good stream. But it made me actually even more excited for when I bring up the stuff that I have to bring up with you because it's kind of what I thought. Like Chris has this to chime in on, and Christian, you have the Greek to chime in on, and you guys, it's not that you miss stuff. It's just that it turns out that I have some even more stuff to bring up that your guys' commentary will be awesome on. So I'm really excited for that. But I'll let you guys get up to your nice professional. You know, you look correct, and I'm out here walking back and forth with my silly shiny face. And
No, we missed you yesterday too. Praise God for that extra money.
yeah, oh,
And
yeah.
I'm thinking maybe the first thing you could do is get some lights in your home with that extra. And the next thing you could do is buy a phone charger.
Yes, my
So
phone's a bit
phones,
old.
I know
It
like
burns through the battery.
because the battery goes out over time. There's a
Uh,
thing you can buy at the store. It's called a phone charger. The phone charger plugs into the phone,
I have heard
and
of
you,
those.
yeah, you plug it in the wall, and then you don't have to walk around outside nervously waiting for your phone to die. You can just charge it.
I'm just actually, this is all a setup, and we're just doing this to, give Chris more an interesting thematic feel for his lives are unpredictable, and who knows what could go on. Like I might end up showing up in the next 10 minutes with a carrot costume, or the
You
angel
turn the light
Gabriel might
on,
visit
and
and choke.
your beard is shaved off, and you're revealed to have been a beautiful woman the whole time.
Hey, look, you ever seen a helicopter on live internet? Look at that.
It's like those 2000s movies where there's always
Boy,
that beautiful woman, but she has glasses on, and so everyone's like, "That she's a nerd," and then she has some glow up later on where all she does is take her glasses off, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, that's her." It's like, yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious. She was just a hot girl with glasses at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, nobody has a clue about how absolutely stunningly handsome I am.
Oh, there he is. Woo!
The garage light kicked on.
Yeah, light's good for you, Steven. Don't waste that beard on the darkness.
This is where, actually, to be a little bit nostalgic, Chris probably recognizes this view. Back there is where I used to have my impressive bookshelf.
That looks
Much
like
like
where you would
yours.
hang dead bodies of victims that you killed.
Yeah, well, not
This is
anymore.
how I met
I'm a
Steven,
Christian
actually.
now.
Yeah.
Was he like dragging a rusty hook through the dirt when you walked up to him?
It kind of felt like it. So it was pretty funny. Like he called me and he was so nervous to talk to me about it. And he saw my backdrop. He's like, "Oh wow, you have such like a professional set." And I'm like here in my basement or like in my garage. I look like a crazy homeless person.
So I do have, for all you inquisitive viewers out there, I do have. It's not an impressive bookshelf, but it's a bit unorganized at the moment.
Slasher.
But there's my real bookshelf.
Oh, that looks cool. I like how it's messy. It's like, wow, it's used.
And now I'm entering where I usually live stream from. But right now it's set up for music, so it's just got a mess of guitars. Because usually I sit right here and I make it all nice, and I have my silly backdrop and lights and ready. 3, 2, 1, lights, camera, action. Ooh. Ugh.
Do you have guitars tuned in different tunings?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have an open D minor guitar?
Not at the moment.
Oh, Steven, I got to introduce you to open D minor, and I got to introduce you to like Mance Lipscomb and like some Delta blues.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
you don't need to spend all of his money just yet.
I've got this nice stand.
Holy cow! How many strings is that thing at?
It's a 12-string.
Oh, that's way too many.
I realize now I'm just all giddy from how wonderful God has blessed me that I'm. Chris, don't let me be all.
I don't have any plan for the live stream. I was just gonna, if you guys didn't got on, I was gonna talk nonsense for 30 minutes and then get off. So we're currently 11 minutes in. So I have 20 more minutes.
So I mean, we can go through. I can just.
Oh, look at that Les Paul. Oh.
Before we bring up all your
no
things,
wonder
I do
you're
want
in
to.
financial problems. You have like all the best guitars, or you blew all your money on guitars.
What is this thumbnail, sir?
So that's just kind of that's kind of going along with this theme.
Also, is that what I look like with brown hair /
That's
blue hair?
great. I think you probably
I look like a
smell
totally
good
different
there.
human.
You do.
I have eyebrows there.
So we have
Never had eyebrows before.
It's because a whole lot of bathroom issues lately, and so I just couldn't get it off my mind. I was rushed. I didn't have time to make a good
that
thumbnail.
looks like.
I don't even have a thumbnail on my stream.
Lord of the Rings, like cover.
Read with its captions, Steven.
You know, I was making fun of you
No,
in
no,
Discord
go
for
back.
not
Oh,
having
wait,
any for not
Just even
having
what it
any
says.
thumbnails. And then the last couple thumbnails you've done have just been.
Wait, read that, Steven.
Which one? Oh,
That
Steven
one
will
we're
probably
doing.
talk a lot. Probably best to avoid. I think it might have been your wife. Oh no, it wasn't. I think it was Randy, who mentioned that your title for the stream is really funny. What was it that said that?
Is it John 14?
Oh yeah, it is your
We
wife.
did 13
I
last
love
time.
Christian's title for the live stream. Your wife is subtly roasting you. That's great.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Anyway.
I just got home probably, what is it? It's 10:52 my time. I think I got home maybe an hour and a half ago, and it was a 20-minute drive from where we were meeting, and I was like crying the whole way home because I was so happy. And then I got home and told everybody the news, and they were crying. And then my friend wanted to come over and congratulate me, and so it's been a I'm tired actually. You know, crying.
Yes, it'll wear you out.
It takes a lot of your moisture out, and I'm already like I don't store up a lot of that, and so I like dehydrated myself through my eyeballs.
Chris, have you ever seen Arrested Development?
Yeah, no.
Better than how I dehydrated myself this week, but
Yeah, Chris. The eye
Mostly
is
through my
on the
brown
left
eye.
top of the anus, and so
Yeah.
you know both ends of the.
yeah, I cried a lot through my brown eye today and yesterday. Not as much today. I've been mostly fine today. Like, there's been a bunch of times where my poop was clear. I had like chunks, which is like a massive improvement
I
of
hope
what
Jack
was
Ray's here
happening
for this.
before.
I know the audience wants to hear about Chris's poop, but
I know.
I'm gonna derail us for a second, and I want to ask Steven, if you paid for all the things that are your current things that are stressing you out and making your beard turn white, okay, those are out of the way. You have like unlimited money. What dumb stuff would you buy?
Oh,
Like if you had
I'm
just like
done.
FU money, and I don't want to hear about I would invest it and give to the poor. No, like selfish. What would Steve? I know there would be. Are there any guitars you're wanting? Like what would you?
Yeah, there's one more guitar that I would want, but I could never bring myself to do it because it would be like $4,000, and I think I actually I've been meaning to have this.
Okay, what
conversation
guitar is
with
it? I
Chris.
don't want to hear all this stupid crap. What guitar would it be?
It would be a Gibson Les Paul Custom, the black one, with the 3 pickups and a Bigsby.
Doesn't it have like gold trim on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's so like gratuitous and maybe gluttonous to spend
I didn't
that
ask
much
you to
money.
be a saint and all that crap. I just said if you had unlimited money.
Okay, yeah. If I had unlimited money, yes, that's the last guitar that I would buy. I have everything else. I'm very satisfied with what I've got, and I already have too many.
What
And
other
I'm
dumb crap would you buy?
nothing. Yeah, I would be happy to just give everything, pay my bills, and then give anything that's after that. Give it to people that need it.
Chris, if you had unlimited money, what would you buy?
Well, the first thing I would do is just get a new house / kitchen. Because that's really the only thing I'm missing in my life is just a better kitchen. It's my kitchen. I have a nice house. I'm not complaining at all about my home. My kitchen sucks. So I have no way to renovate it to make it bigger.
Well,
So I'm just stuck with a tiny little kitchen.
I would say.
Kitchen
I
is
would get.
by far what I care about the most.
I'd want to make like a sword out of meteorite metal.
Well,
Wouldn't that be so cool?
it's
I
not.
already have
I
some
looked
swords.
into making a backyard forge. It's not
There
that
you go.
hard.
Can you do a sand
I
kiln
would
pretty
live
easily?
in like a Baroque library, like one of those giant.
Yes,
Like
with the
fancy
ladder
library.
on the
And I'd
rolling
get-
ladder and a
Yes.
leather chair. Yep.
And put a T-Rex like skeleton in there. It was so cool. And then I'd have unlimited money. Then I'd find a way to clone the thing and just have little T-Rexes running around. And then I would find Atlantis.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
That's
But
cool.
that's
Yeah.
actually a good question, Chris. I had this conversation with my brother, and I wasn't satisfied with his response. But I would like to talk to you about about Christian living, when you can afford to live and be not even comfortable, I guess, but just like secure in that you have a place to live, where in that do we make like a delineation point between, okay, I could just eat, rice and a couple vegetables, or maybe like meat once a week, and then donate the rest of that to other people because there's plenty of people that don't get to eat even that. So that'd be I'd like to know, because I've always been kind of uncomfortable, even with the amount of guitars I have. And I've only been the last like maybe 5 or 6 years where I've actually finally spent money on guitars. And when it comes down to it, I only really need one. And I have
Oh,
a
you
lot
don't.
more.
Quit talking.
No, you need
crazy.
at least 2. You need a Cusick,
crazy.
electric. Come on. I guess-
Need is the word, And
Yeah.
so I wrestle with that. I think, is this am I crossing the line into gluttony in that way? So I'd be interested in your opinion on that, because it's something I think about often. I don't want to be gluttonous with my living.
Yeah. I can get into a little bit of Chris lore that I don't think I've ever shared on my channel. So if this was a Wednesday stream, Jack was here. Anyway, I've gotten people recommended me that I make like a tafsir or a hadith collection of myself. So, a bit of Chris lore. I grew up extremely poor, and then so like I was the youngest of 4. We all of us stayed in one bedroom.
Oh wow! Me and my 2 brothers did that too.
Yeah, so we had 2 bunk beds.
Wall-to-wall beds is what we had.
Wall-to-wall bunk beds that my dad actually had to make himself to be smaller to fit into the room, because you couldn't use the default bunk beds. So, yeah, we went from that. My dad started his own sign business. His signs were too good, and they didn't fall apart, so he just couldn't keep up customer base. Some of those signs still exist to this day, like 28 years later, which is kind of crazy. And they're like yard signs. So like metal, like signs that are out in the weather all the time, and they still look good. So he was trying to get that going, and then he started his own real estate company from literally nothing. So he didn't have a loan. He figured out how to get private financing and get rich people to donate money to him to like bet on him. And he bought his first house with no credit, no bank, none of that. He just went out and did it. And then he bought 2 more and bought 3 more. And then he ended up making like a small empire. So my parents are incredibly rich. I'm not incredibly rich. My parents have not given me any of their money. And rightfully so. That's a kind of a bad idea to do to your children. So I grew up in extreme poverty. And then within 10 years, we went to extreme abundance. So they at one point owned over 250 houses, all rentals. So they had
wow.
Like, my dad's monthly expenses is $30,000 a month without any mortgage or anything else. So just on his lifestyle. What do you mean this contains unoriginal or reproduced content?
What?
TikTok just sent me a notice saying that this contains unoriginal content. Okay,
It's because we're
literally never happened before. Everything here is entirely original. This isn't even...
I feel bad for whatever source that we would be stealing from.
So
does this mean it won't count, Chris, or what, is this still going to count as your?
It should still count. It limits visibility, but it end the stream. If it ended the stream, I would just start a new one. But I'm at
Do you think some
22
Muslim
minutes.
falsely pinged it, or what's going on?
No, the TikTok algorithm just sucks, man.
Yeah.
I'm doing all this work for TikTok, and I don't even know if it'll be worth it in like a couple months. So
yeah,
we'll see. Anyway, especially with myself and you guys around, we do not adhere to the TikTok banned word list at all.
You want me to go to my gun cabinet?
He'll be showing his
He
guns,
just-
and I'll just be going mag, 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 mag.
I think even just saying gun might be the trigger for TikTok.
Gums. Yeah.
Anyway, I forgot to show the comments. Those were fun. Anyway, so I grew up in extreme poverty within within a decade or so, from like right around the age of 12 to 13. The housing bubble hit because all the stupidity with the government. So then we got incredibly wealthy, almost like overnight. There was just like loads of people coming in with like 20% down on houses, just ridiculous amounts of wealth to be made in the housing market at that time. And then the recession hit. Then I became a worker, ironically. So I started working at the age of 10, which is like maybe illegal. Even for like a family-owned business, I think 12 is like family-owned business, what you're supposed to start at. But I basically became a little carpenter trainer at like 11 under my grandpa and my dad, and then I got my carpentry license at 17. So I was a carpenter, and ironically, this is a side tangent to your question. Ironically, God kept putting me into positions throughout my life that were all like you had to produce a tangible good, and people could judge it. So like I was a carpenter and I was a chef and I did work in manufacturing and shipping and all that stuff. And it's like you either do the work or you don't do it. You can't lie about it. But growing up, I was a habitual liar and manipulator. So after I became a Christian, I started doing carpentry full time. I was a carpenter for my parents' business for like 11 years. So I did that for a long time. I was a chef. And you can't lie about being a chef. Either the food tastes good or it doesn't. There's no like in between there. So, God consistently put me in positions that I couldn't lie about for over a decade, and then he threw me into these now positions I can lie about, and I'm expected to still uphold the same standard I had for the rest of my adulthood, even though I had that history. Yeah, it's like training me to be honest and own my mistakes and own whenever I can't do something, whenever I'm failing. And working the line, man, that like ingrains it into you. Like, hey, I'm like, I'm 5 tickets behind. I'm gonna, we're not gonna make it out tonight, guys.
Yeah, I worked in the kitchen too, and I loved it. I mean, that for a long time, I thought that's what I would still actually like doing it, but that was what I was eagerly seeking out, is to work in a kitchen. And I understand why so many people get into like cocaine and all that stuff in that line of work, because it's a lot of pressure and it's very hectic, but
adrenaline going. Yeah,
it's fun though. It's a lot of fun, especially if you can do it, if you can put out the product and you can like kick back and say, yeah, look, there's all that's there, and I put that out there. I love it. I love that, but but I mean, it's definitely it's taxing. You earn every cent in the kitchen,
right?
So, like you said, you can't lie about it.
Well, it's like on Overcooked, that's what I've done, and so I'm basically the same as you guys. Have you ever played Overcooked, Steven?
I'm gonna go back to my. Now that I've been here, I'm going to go back to my pacing, because the only time ever that I sit down is either at my second job or when I'm live streaming. And now that I've already like set the terrible precedent for this one with me pacing, I'm going to go right back to it. There we go. Ah, look, I'm walking. Ah, ha, ha. Hopefully you don't hear all the crickets and summer bugs that are out
here. Anyway, so I've experienced a wide gambit of the stages of financial success. I've experienced being extremely wealthy, going on fancy vacations, living up the lifestyle, and I've also experienced going through hardship. And we kind of had a taste of that again during the recession, because my parents' entire business model was just housing. So I had to work for my parents as a kid because they literally couldn't hire carpenters. So I would be like going to school during the day, then flipping houses at night. Or they would even take me out of school to do it.
So you grew up in wealth, You had time to think about money and where to spend money. But when asked, what would you buy if you had unlimited money? You said you get a bigger kitchen.
Yeah.
You could have explored Atlantis. You could have flown to the moon. You could have built a robot
Yeah.
army. And you go,
Yeah.
yeah, you make a bigger kitchen.
See, I've already experienced much of the world. I don't
You've
care
had a
nearly as
robot
much
army,
about
Chris.
that.
How big is your
I
robot
don't.
army?
I have actually worked in robotics for my job. I could actually go get a soldering kit.
Make an army
Anyway.
of them, start a weird religion, and commit jihad with them.
So
Let them
actually, my
know any
first job,
any laptops they capture in battle are theirs.
my first job in academia was for the old head of the engineering department of MIT, and me and him were working on reinforcement learning, and we were going to work on robotics and swarm tech, and a couple other neat little things. So I did actually start getting into robotics, and I was going to get my my bachelor's in robotics science, and then decided it was better to get computer science as a general than specialize, especially because I have to go to like school either online or really far away, and I just couldn't do that with my wife's situation. Um, that being said, I've gone through all the things that I could try, and I already know what I enjoy. I enjoy being at home, and I enjoy cooking, and I enjoy cooking in a nice kitchen. And working in a kitchen, a professional kitchen, spoiled me so
Yes,
heavily.
absolutely.
I would get a bigger kitchen, and then I would hire a maid to clean my dishes. And that would be all I spent the money on, pretty much.
We
And
used to
then
be
random
friends with
knickknacks.
this wealthy couple, and they just for whatever reason loved me and my wife, and so they had like this group of friends also, and they just started doing a cooking class, and they would invite us over to their houses, maybe like 8 people, 8 to 10 people, and they teach us how to do lobster and homemade pasta, and they just had like all these bottles of wine. That you know what you could do if you're ever worried about your riches is share them with other people, because it's like
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, just allow some if there's like some neighborhood kid or someone at the church learning guitar, let them practice on your guitars, or teach
Right.
them or whatever. Whatever it is God blesses you with. I don't think God's totally anti-wealth because you see wealthy Christians in the Bible lending their homes to the early church. And you
Hmm.
see like Lydia is in this place of prominence and she's a woman who seems to have money, but they're always giving people,
Hmm.
And so just think of those guitars as, yeah, it's great. It's this gift you can have that you can enjoy, but everything you own really belongs to the Lord.
Right,
At the end of
right.
the day. And
Yep.
if there's like if the Holy Spirit's really convicting you, you can go into a life of asceticism. I think that's right for some people at some moments.
Hmm.
But I also think it's possible to be a fully committed Christian who enjoys things and shares them with other people.
Yeah, definitely the sharing part. That sits well with me. It's just when I get to the point of where it's like I could just have one, and like I have the ones I have because I like them. But I mean, I would also like a mansion. You know what I mean? I'd like a
Yeah.
Corvette. I'd like this and that. The things that I like, I just won't ever pursue. And
Think
because
about it
it's too
like
much.
with your own kids too, right? So you're God's child. And like look at your own kids. You don't want to deprive them of everything,
Mm,
but you do want them to share.
right.
And if you feel like one of them feels led to be without objects and possessions, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine because those things aren't important. Then also, like I have my I was thinking about this and thinking about I wonder how if this is how God sees me. My daughter left her Care Bear toy at church and lost it, and she was weeping and weeping. And the on paper correct thing to be like, it's just a material object, it doesn't matter. But instead, I
Mm,
was like, man, I really want to bend over backward to find this Care Bear toy because it means so
right.
much to her. And it's stupid. And I know it's a worthless piece of junk. It's just stuffing. But it's
Mm,
like, because I love her, like, I wanted her to have this little Care Bear, is Cheer Bear, and so
Yeah, and I guess that's where, like, for me, where it comes into play is, I'm happy. Like, if God wants to bless me with whatever, I'll take it. You know, I'm not going to reject it. It's
yeah.
just when I know of other people that are worse off than me, then I
And here's where I have a problem. Sorry, let me finish this thought. So if
oh
my daughter had 100 Care Bears and was whining all the time that she wanted more, and there's like a kid next door who didn't have any, she refused to share with them. That's when I would be mad. You see
yeah,
how that's different? Yeah.
yeah. I guess my
Thank
thing
you,
is
Randy.
it's just I know, like, right, you know, when people criticized in the Gospels, like with Judas, where they're like, when Judas sees the woman with it that it's anointing Jesus, and he goes, you know, she could have sold that and given it to the poor.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but so that was a particular uh, moment, you know, anointing the Messiah, uh, and so that's it's just kind of I feel like if I sold, for example, if I sold all my guitars, it wouldn't be anything, you know, it wouldn't be probably be if I did a good job at selling them and was patient, I might be able to make like $5,000. Uh, and so it's not like that to me. That's not life changing,
Yeah.
but to somebody else, that could be a huge deal. And I don't know. That's why I think it's more of a I don't really know how to have the conversation. I'm just trying to express there's a weird like pull on me that I feel like I don't know if it's okay to have as much as I have. And I'm happy to get rid of them if that would do somebody some good. But I don't want to feel bad or guilty if I shouldn't. So just be more of a kind of, I guess, reasoning through certain things. Because I'm happy to eat rice and sell my guitars, and someone else can have the benefits of whatever it is.
Here, I need you to do me a favor, Stephen. It would piss me off if you sold your guitars. So, as a selfless act for me, I need you to enjoy those guitars, okay? Quit worrying about those guitars.
So, I guess to finish my original, because I never actually finished the question that you
sorry,
asked
Chris.
me.
We Chrised you. We Chrised Chris.
I also Chrised myself because I took a side tangent while I was in the middle of it. So my dad growing up, he said that 10% is what the church, what you're supposed to, you owe God. That's tithing. And that can be through a variety of things. It can be monetary, it can be through service, it can be, how you live your life. There's many different ways you can tithe to God. Your time, energy, money, finances, whatever wealth you have, whatever surplus you have, giving it to the point of inflicting not necessarily harm, but like inconvenience on yourself. Like if you give out of only your like leftovers, it's not really, challenging, or it's not,
Right.
yeah. So his view was he didn't want to just give 10%. He wanted to live on 10% and give away 90%. So that's always been his goal. So whenever he wanted to spend more money, he would just make 10 times the amount of money he wanted to spend and then give away the rest. So my inheritance is actually in the millions of dollars. But even with all of that, he still gives away a vast amount of money to a variety of churches and causes and everything else. So that's always been interesting to me, where I don't think you can look at our life circumstances like we're a bunch of like Irish and Germans in the middle of nowhere, North Michigan, and then my dad moves down to Tennessee and he instantly becomes absorbently wealthy. And then he's also preaching the whole time while doing this, including preaching on God taking care of you while also getting food from a food line from the pastor whose church he just preached at about God taking care of you. So you have all of that being mixed together. I don't see how that's not God blessing us in those circumstances. And as Christian said earlier with the wealthy Christians, God needs to finance his kingdom. Now, he does a lot of things miraculously, supernaturally, but also there is a real aspect of wealth in this world. So
Mm.
he uses the wealthy, whether they want to or not, he uses them in order to accomplish his means, his goals. So
Mhm.
you can be a part of that and whatever scale he has for you. It's all about your heart, though, at the end of the day, what's sinful and what's not sinful. Is it sinful to be rich? Well, if you take a very like wooden approach to the rich man, the young
Mm.
rich man, and Jesus says, you know, you're perfect in all these regards, but there's one thing that you lack. Go and sell your possessions, then you'll be perfect. That's not a condemnation against wealth. Now, there's a
Right.
warning against wealth, that it's
Right.
harder to enter the heaven than going through the eye of a needle as a camel. Because it is easier to be dependent on yourself than it is to be dependent on God. Whenever you do that, you can hurt your relationship with God, as I've been the walking example of this last few days. So
I was pointing
you
at
don't.
you not because of saying you're the walking example of that. I was pointing at you because saying I 100% agree. Like the so yeah, because I was pointing at you already when you were saying what I agreed with. You know, as I've been the walking example. It's like, oh, jeez. No, I just meant that we're supposed to be like children. And what does Jesus mean by that? Well, he means that we acknowledge how needy we are of him all the time, and how ultimately that's where our safety comes from, and not from a 401k or a Roth account or
Mm.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
the
mean, for me,
prosperity gospel is a failure, but the
yes.
the poorness gospel is also a failure. So
Yeah, yeah.
you
Or even
live
like
within whatever you're
I get a big
comfortable
sense of security from my
with God.
dad, because my dad can do anything. My dad's Superman. He's super smart. He's always prepared, and like nothing ever gets him off balance. But as I'm getting older and I'm watching him age, I go, he's not going to be around forever, and I'll just have like bad dreams about it and be scared all the time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not trusting in God. I'm trusting in my dad. He's a great
Mm.
guy. It's great that I trust in him, but he's not. You know, I'm using him in the same way other people might use wealth, where it's like their safety net. I'm using it
Yeah.
as my safety net instead of God. And so,
I can attest to the fact that your dad's pretty cool.
yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot you know him.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for bringing it up, guys. You can't know my dad because he's been dead for like 17 years. So thanks for bringing that up. I was having a good night, and now
But at least he's not a crutch for you.
No, that was a big deal when he died because he was. That's a whole other story about the situation with our dad. He pretty much raised us, and it wasn't because of my mom's deficiency. It was because he made it appear that way, and then they got divorced, and so we ended up living with him, and he raised us, and so he was kind of like the god of our life. And then he died. He went real quick decline. He became an alcoholic, and it took him out in probably when it got like obvious to when it killed him was probably like a 4 or 5 year span. And we didn't know because we thought we grew up with cartoons, and when you're an alcoholic, you know, you stumble around and you can't do anything. And he was very, like, I guess what they would call a high functioning alcoholic. And some of our family friends took us aside at one point, and they're like, we're really worried. Like, these are people that knew him for 30 years. And they said, we're
Mhm.
really worried about your dad. We think he's got an alcohol problem. And we're like, what? No, he doesn't. He's fine. Like, he's not drunk, is it? Yeah, he drinks like 3 gallons of wine before noon, but he's not drunk.
Mhm.
And it's just weird when you're in that scenario where
How old were you when he passed away?
I was
22.
22. Yeah,
Oh
22.
geez.
So
Yeah.
my youngest brother was 19. He just graduated high school. And so it was really weird because even though he, at that point in his alcoholism, he had become like the predominant villain in our lives, because it was, I mean, it was crazy stories like,
Ripping out your beard. And,
that's for another time, just insane
yeah.
stories. But
Which you've told a little bit of it on previous streams.
yeah, I think
If,
so. We've touched on it a little
Yeah.
bit, but him dying was the whole thing was like he's such a prominent figure. He can't die. He just got to get better.
Yeah.
And it ended up no. He just real quickly died over a period of 2 weeks, and then it was like, well, now what? Now what do we do? It just it reminds me of the what's the biblical quote? Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. It was
Yeah.
kind of like
Mhm.
that, because it was just kind of like this was the guy who we relied on for everything, direction, and even when he was at his worst, we still the point of whatever we did was to get him back to not being the worst.
What
And
happened? What happened with your relationship with God after he passed?
well, so this is where it gets really weird. He, in the midst of his alcoholism, right before he got like sick and like kind of completely non-functional, is when I started to. That's when I actually developed my relationship with God,
Yeah.
and it was from him. I mean, he was a genuine Christian. That just kind of fell off, I guess, is what it would be. Kind of like a King Saul type of figure, in a way. And so we were estranged for 2 years before he died. And glory to God, there was like a 3 month period before he died where we reconciled. So it was really it's a crazy story. I ought to tell it just for the benefit of other people who may be going through it or have been through it, because it's now it's I'm very grateful for my dad. He majorly screwed up and he made a lot of really sinful and not good choices, but there was enough of what he did and instilled in me that I'm able to be the person I am today. And again, that goes also back to God, because there was a point in the 2 years before he died where God became my dad, basically. So and that was an odd shift for me, because I had to rely on God, who was new to me, versus my dad, who was what I actually that's who I wanted to be my dad, even in at his worst. So it kind of pitted me against my dad. It's just weird. It works much better as a full story, but the full story is probably like a 12-hour retelling of everything. But I'm very grateful for my dad. He messed up in a lot of terrible ways, but he was a very good dad, and I'm grateful to God that I had him as my dad.
He was a believer then.
Yeah. I mean, even
Okay.
to the point where on his deathbed, which I mean, may we all be lucky enough to have a deathbed where we just don't disappear overnight or something. But he couldn't talk anymore, and he had a feeding tube and everything. And I was sitting there in the hospital room with him, and I looked at him and I said, "Dad, are you praying? Are you praying?" And he couldn't move or anything, but he was like in the bed like this, and he looks over and he winks at me. That's how he would communicate with me. He would wink. So I was like, "Dad, are you praying? Are you good?" And he started winking at me, and so I hope to be reunited with him one day when that time comes. I really hope so. But yeah, he did. He was doing some pretty not good things when he was at his worst, and so I hope that was like the God disciplining him, that he had he was led to repentance and everything. So, but he did a good job. I'm grateful for the dad he was to me, even at his worst.
That is like the hardest part about getting older is like watching your parents get older and knowing their days are numbered. And it's going to be so hard when my dad passes because he really is a great source of comfort for me in the same way that like I won't say totally unhealthy. It's normal for
Yeah,
children to find comfort in their dad, and
yeah,
especially I think like it develops the correct archetype for you to be able to understand God. I mean, why does he call himself father? He called himself, could have used any kind of metaphor. And I think there's actually studies done where like atheism is way higher in people who have had like a bad relationship with their dad. Dads are a big deal.
Oh
And it's
yeah.
not just for daughters. They always talk about how the daughter really needs a dad who loves them. The boys need it too. It's like
Mhm.
they both need a dad. And then when you have that dad, it kind of like teaches you kind of like a shadow of what God's supposed to be like, you know.
Yeah.
But
Well, and
yeah,
that's what I love
yeah,
about like being a parent, because God made man and woman in His image, and so
yeah,
to have the dad and the mom, you need both to really get the full picture of God. You need
yeah.
the authority and the strength and the
I was
security of
just
the
thinking
dad.
the justice and the mercy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And then you need the comfort. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, and no
What's
matter
up,
what it
Al?
was, I could stub my toe or skin my knee, and it was just like my dad would pick me up. Are you okay? And I was like, I want my mom. Like, you just, there's something that a mom can provide that a dad can't, but there's also things that a dad can provide that a mom can't.
Yeah,
And
it's like when my 2-year-old's sick, you know, it's mommy, mommy, she needs mommy. And
mm,
then like my 6-year-old, she's like wound up today, and she's just like, you know, I just want someone to sit on my head. You know, it's like, okay. It's like shoving on her, like I start jumping on her, you know, and then she gets up,
yeah,
and I'm chasing her. It's like that's what the dad
Uh, so not
does.
to entirely derail the conversation, but Elle says, "Who does your title think it is? Tell me what to do."
So
And
have y'all heard about
sorry, I'm
all
just
this
gonna.
Lily J drama that's been happening?
I was gonna do a promo before you talk about the video you made with her.
What?
Um,
No, no, no. It's just a response that Lily J made. And thanks for blowing my bit, Chris. No, that was the so there's a bunch of drama with this very, very fake woman named Lily J. The Chat JPT. If
yeah.
yeah, how many Christians it take to screw in a light bulb or whatever? So she has been busted using AI on all of her videos and stuff, fake orphanages, fake bakeries. And so she went real silent for a while. But if you look on Elle's channel, you'll see where Lily J responded to all the criticism.
yeah.
So after this stream, you should all go see that. Also, that conference that they're promoting, that the Top T is promoting. Have y'all seen where Thaddeus is calling himself Top T?
Yeah.
That's so
Now
funny.
I have to sadly interrupt. I'm on 2%, and because I've just now got my provision from God, I haven't yet been able to afford a charger, or a boat to sail to Chris's house over land, or a teleporter. Still working on all those things, but it should be, God willing, maybe next year you'll see me in my glorious boat in Chris's front yard. Well, which would then be my front yard once I plant my flag. I think that's how that works. But
Yeah.
I'm on
I mean, we're gonna
2%
take a.
battery.
Speaking of us meeting each other, I'm gonna meet
Yeah.
you in 3 weeks on my way to the Seek and Share
To the
Truth
conference.
conference.
Yeah. And we'll have to make a little bitty video, Chris, of it'll be weird to see us both in the same frame.
All
But
right. So
yeah,
if you
I've
want to
talked to
meet
Cal before.
me, if you
She's
want to
great.
meet me, you
Yes.
can go to this conference in Cleveland, Ohio, in 3 weeks. So I think it
Wow.
starts the
Yeah.
31st.
If only we knew
So
someone who knew the date when the conference would be. Chat, can you help?
yeah.
Hey,
And the
Steve.
times it actually starts, because that's not on the website, by the way, Al. I asked Eric about it, and he never got back to me. So when is the actual like day of time I should be there? Because I'm traveling like 12 hours. I need to know when I need to leave Steven's house to actually be there.
Also, Chris,
But
you
if you
gotta.
want to meet me for free, well, minus travel expenses, you can go to the Seek and Share Truth conference.
Chris, I want to. If
and
you
we'll
don't
talk
mind,
Islam.
She said
if
July
you don't
30
mind
and August
being
10.
a what's that word called? A mule. If you don't mind being a mule, I will provide you with a box full of bags that have the Alzut coffee that you can take and
Ooh.
pass out.
Yes, David wanted one, so I will definitely at least give it I'll just give it to Eric or L. And
Yeah, I can give you a
have them
Those
bottle
are
if
give it
you
to
real,
don't
by the
mind,
way. The Alzu
parting.
coffee, it's not just AI.
Yeah, that's
No,
real.
those are
coffee.
real bags that he owns. Yes.
Yeah, of
So we
Alzu
have
coffee.
we
It's
have
as
Al
dark
Zook
as a
coffee.
moonless Arabian night.
And it will give you
Yes.
the energy of 30 men.
Yeah.
I will 10 a.m. All right. I should be fine to be able to be there on time. Okay. So I will be distributing bags of Al Zook coffee, and you will see me with this logo on my back. If you see a person in this logo on his shirt, come ask me for some bags of Al Zook coffee, and I will distribute some coffee to you.
All right, I'm on 1% now. God willing, I will afford a charger in the coming months. But glory to God, He's blessed me beyond ways that I could be grateful for tonight. I love all of you guys. I'm so grateful for everything. And Jesus is awesome. And I will see you guys, God willing, if not earlier, next Monday for a little bit more of John 13. But God bless you guys and everybody in the chat.
Yes.
Love you, brothers.
Good night,
Yeah.
brother. I'm gonna see if I can find the picture of the Al Zook coffee. Here it is.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
All right. Open media link. I'm not going to show you how many tabs I have open because it's going to embarrass everyone here just by association. So I'll show this as an independent window. So this is the. So he works.
Alzoot and Arabic on there.
Yeah, Steven literally makes coffee for a living. So this is the coffee he made. And it is strong, dark, will give you the energy of 30 men, the Zut chieftain, and it's Zut, Al Zut in Arabic.
Have you ever seen Zach Galifianakis' Between Two Ferns?
I've seen parts of it. I've not seen the whole thing.
So it's like a fake interview show, and a lot of
Right.
times when he's interviewing people, he's just rude to them, and he'll do these product placements where it just like comes down in front of their face, and it just interrupts the flow of everything. It would be so funny if Steven started doing that with Alzoot coffee. It's like, hold on, before you get to that, and just have like a fishing line drop down one of his bags of coffee, and then do his little promo on it. Is that can
Yeah.
the audience order that online?
The Al Zut coffee? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's the perfect drink to go with a Quran onesie.
Yeah.
If you're in a
I'm
Quran
specifically gonna get a bag for David because I mentioned it to him like 6 months ago, and he's like, "Oh, that sounds awesome. Please give me some." I was like, "Oh, I never have." So we'll try and get that sorted in 2 weeks. But I will be at the Seek and Share Truth Conference, July 31st, August 2nd, Cleveland, Ohio, to distribute coffee bags apparently, and talk about Jesus and the Quran and how it's all Jewish. She's on both streams at the same time. Oh no, she's infested this. Anyway, I am actually fairly sick right now, so I don't know how much longer we want to go tonight. I'm feeling good at the moment, but I have lost 6 pounds in the last 28 hours.
I wish I
Mostly
could do
fluid.
that.
Yeah, but
Not
it was
that way,
not a
but-
healthy, not a
Yeah.
healthy way. Mostly through my leather strap, and it was not fun.
But I mean, it's all water weight too. The fat's still on you. You're just a fat guy who has no water in his body.
You can just come for free. You work a line, like you're way too busy as a chef. Like, it's not gonna happen. So I forgot what I was gonna say. I don't know if I'm gonna be putting out a video this week just because I haven't given my editor much time. If I do, it's gonna be how the whole narrative of Sodom and Gomorrah in the Quran is stolen from rabbis. Specifically the Midrash. So the whole idea of them being like robbers and thieves rather than their sin being sexual in nature. Like the specific sins that they're doing where they're robbing and murdering and marauding on caravans. Those all the details around it, both in the Tafsir and in the Quran, perfectly line up with the Midrash. So I'm going to go through and make a video on that as part of the Talmudic dilemma. And other than that, I'm going to be trying to recover and trying to finish more of the book. The book is at 550 pages, and I need to reduce that. So I'm going to be reducing a lot of the big quotes to more of the highlights. Yeah. And I'll be streaming with Ash Maze tomorrow. So it's going to be fun. And are you going to join us tomorrow for that?
If I do, it'll have to be once all the babies are in bed. So around the same time I joined tonight. But yeah,
Okay.
I like that guy. He's cool.
He is fun.
I like the Sons of Thunder too. They're all right.
It's scheduled for 8 tomorrow, so I guess we'll see how long that goes.
Okay.
Earlier stream. But unless you have a specific question or topic you want to talk about, it might be fine calling it right now.
I'm just thinking now that he's got that he's making more money, which I'm so happy for. Maybe he can afford a beard trimmer. and a phone charger.
So can you do more videos on Islam and Brigham Young's concept of blood atonement sacrifices? Ooh, I really want to talk about the blood atonement stuff and the whole firing squad execution, because that's really interesting history. And Brigham Young seems to depart a bit from Joseph Smith. So it's like, oh, well, does the presidents of the church still have the same authority as Joseph Smith, or did it actually diminish and all that nonsense? Islam is a bit of a strange case on that, because they do animal sacrifices, even though they mock Christians for, sacrifice of Jesus. Like, oh, blood atonement doesn't do anything. And yet he's still sacrificed like hundreds of camels on the final Hajj and all throughout his life and all the other nonsense that comes with it. That might have to wait until I'm closer to being done with the Talmudic dilemma, though. So, I don't know. I have like 8 more videos dedicated to Islam I want to make outside of the Talmudic dilemma stuff, and then I'll be tackling Hinduism for a bit. But not sure what else I'm going to be doing outside of that. At the beginning of the year, I got a notebook, and I completely filled like the first 6 months.
I'm hoping he doesn't just fall over dead after not eating for 3 days. Just imagine if he leans over and then he just like drops. Hang in there, Chris. We're cheering for you.
I literally don't know where my notebook is right now. That's weird. Anyway, I got a notebook that I detailed every video I was going to make and every short I was going to make for like 7 months. And then right as soon as I did that, I did my first stream with David Wood. And then I was like, oh, well, I guess I should focus on this now. Because I was only planning on making 3 videos on the plagiarism of the Quran. Only 3 of them, and that has now turned into a 42-part series. That's probably going to be around 80 parts total. And it's
noticing a pattern here. I'm noticing a pattern here. This happens with every project you do. It's just like, it's like your book also.
Yeah, my book was originally 200 pages. It's now more than doubled. To be fair, though, that does add a lot of credibility to the argument, because most of the editions I've done have been on the access to the information. So both it being historically in Arabia and for Muhammad to have access to sources directly. And then I show the parallelisms and then all the other details and problems.
And it's also like, you're the first person I think who's made this argument this in depth. And so there needs to be like the master book that has the most exhaustive references in it. You know what I mean? And then maybe after that you can do like a smaller, like less academic version. But something needs to do the initial charge on making this connection.
Yeah. I might do, the Talmudic dilemma, I don't think I'm going to change too much from how it is right now. I currently have 300 pages of just tables, not even with my commentary yet, just 300 pages of tables of quotes from Islam and Judaism and Christianity and Zoroastrianism and Greek and Mandean and Manichaean sources.
Didn't
So
Manny also say he was
Gnostic.
the seal of the prophets?
Yes, you also have
Yeah.
a little bit of that with Zoroastrianism, but not the same. So like Zoroaster has a lot of similarities to Muhammad. Now they're kind of like vague. They're not like hard, like beat for beat exactly the same. But they're similar enough that you could be like, if I like squint my eyes, I could see the exact parallel. So it's not nearly as strong as like the Talmudic copyings. But you do have most like nothing about Muhammad other than him hating dogs and marrying children. There's like very few things that are original to him. I have around 70% of the Quran chronologued with previous sources, and I think that's going to be around the final number. So I think we can confidently say that 70% of the Quran is stolen from previous sources. And I have a abridged version of that in the book, but I might also have in the bibliography every single verse with its source just as a wall of text. So you just have like every entry, every surah, every ayah. And then that might just be, and then like of the actual commentary, of the actual quotes, how it's like showing it, grading it, going through the Arabic and the Hebrew / Syriac / Aramaic / Persian, because it's all over the place. I think I'm going to do that in the main commentary within those, 300, 400 pages. And then I'll have like 20 pages of just, here's from the Quran, here's where it got it from. And then just a wall of text of that. And I have that on the website. That's going to be on the website for free. Like all of the content of the book will be available for free. And it's going to be available on two different websites, thedawahscript.com and islamic.help. So both of those are going to have all of the problems in Islam with the copying of the sources. So we have all of the Islamic dilemma in it right now from Chris's book. And that's going to be developing and everything else. We're going to go through that. And then we also are going to have all of the Talmudic dilemma, and we're going to have a lot of the master key approach as well. So we can do it also in a more apologetic way rather than just a straight polemical way. So you can like, or not necessarily apologetics. We're not, apologizing for Islam. We're not defending Islam, but more in like a, like let's reach across the aisle. Let's just have a conversation, like conversational one-on-one type thing. Rather than, the traditional polemics where just like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. You instead walk people through, okay, here are some examples that are neutral to both Islam and Christianity. Can you see why the logic fails? All right, can you now see that logic being applied here in Islam? Okay, what's different between these two things? And it's like, oh, well, this one has Allah doing it. Okay, that doesn't make it right if Allah's doing it here, but it's wrong over here. So yeah, like a very evangelical way. So we're going to have a lot of different modes to reach Muslims because Muslims need all of it.
Yeah.
Some people need to be beat over the head like I did and literally forced at gunpoint to give up my old life. And then other people need to have like the gentle approach or like a, conversational friend approach like Nabil. So you have lots of different approaches that are needed to bring people to Christ because everyone's different. And we are going to do our best to equip all Christians and ex-atheists or ex-Muslims to guide those in Islam out of Islam towards Christ specifically. So we're working on it. That's what the big Discord. Yeah, kind of. So I'm gonna go ahead and end my stream on TikTok. Because I'm already past an hour in there. So I was like, you can watch my testimony video, but I was suicidal for, suicidal for like 4 to 6 years. I was depressed for the better part of 11 years, from 5 till 15. So the way I got encountering God is whenever I was in middle school, I started studying evolution, and I started taking college courses. Because professors would just upload things online for free because they didn't have any concept of security or like, hey, I'm just going to upload this to the university website. And they didn't realize, hey, every single person on the internet can access that thing if you don't put it behind some kind of paywall, or some kind of login, and they didn't have that. So I was going down that route, and I'm actually going to do a stream.
Hold on, pause. So when I was playing Pokemon on my Game Boy, you were hacking into university websites to watch lectures.
I don't know if I would call it hacking. I was watching professors from Oxford and New Delhi and Harvard and MIT teach on various subjects, mostly biology, physics, and a bit of engineering, like plasma physics and electrical engineering, which is a bit that's more my background, is electrical engineering and mechanical engineering, and then computer science. Those are what my like credentials are in, and a little bit of science. I've done a mixture of it, but my main focus was biology for a while, and I didn't have to hack any of it. You could just Google it and it would pop up. So this wasn't like some secret thing. You could just Google like Oxford chemistry and it would just be like, here it is. And I was like, thanks, Google. So this was back in like 2006, like well before people figured out how to teach things online. So that's what I was doing. And then I got really, really deep into materialism, atheism. Specifically macroevolution as origin of species, and then I just said, oh well, God doesn't need to exist.
Wait,
and
so
then
you were raised Christian?
I was raised Christian.
Man, we have a lot of parallels in our stories. It's crazy.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see if I get the third kid. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Anyway,
it's gonna be a boy. What are your kids so far? You already have a boy, right?
Boy, girl. Yeah. Boy,
girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I ended up I was also like a heavily degenerate person. I'm not allowed to tell my backstory.
Well, okay, not everything's a parallel, guys. Not everything's a parallel.
Some of it I'm not allowed to tell because my wife has forbidden me, and some of it I'm not allowed to tell because I think it might still have legal implications. So, and I have a lawyer here present that is not.
What he meant by that was it's all a silly joke, and he's not going to mention that again. I don't know what it is, and I don't need to know what it is, and you don't either. And he doesn't know what he's talking about. He probably doesn't know the law anyway, and he doesn't know. He's crazy. All right, keep going. Chris.
So, around 15, about a month before I got saved, I had a gun in my mouth. And I was going to kill him. And I'm like an experienced marksman. I grew up,
Well, you don't have to have that good of aim if it's stuck in your mouth.
True. But I was like, I know how this gun works.
Okay, anyone can do this shot. Like,
no, I meant like the safety wasn't on. Like it wasn't like malfunction. I know how guns work extensively.
Yeah, got it.
I had a Taurus Judge, so with buckshot specifically, I had a buckshot revolver in my mouth. And you can't really mess up a revolver. And yet, whenever I pulled the trigger, nothing happened. It was just nothing. And then I pulled harder. Nothing happened. And then I cried. Got exhausted, put the gun up, went home, defeated, and was just angry at everything. Angry at God, angry at myself, angry at everything.
Let me tell you real quick. I know this is super tense, and the audience really wants me to interrupt you in this story. Sorry, audience. But I also almost committed suicide looking down the barrel of a gun. But I never did pull the trigger, but I did go, as I was crying with my thumb on the trigger, I was like, I don't know how this story ends. Let me just see how it ends. And so that's what got me to put it down. Because I was like, I don't know where this is going to go from here. That's what held me back. But that's crazy that the pulling the trigger didn't work. Just another parallel. All right, keep going. I'll try not to interrupt.
So then my parents forced me to go to a Christian youth conference in Michigan called Invasion by Mark Barkley. So my dad knew him growing up. They went to the same seminary together. I'm a preacher's kid. And actually, all of my family except me have gone to seminary. And now I'm the only one in my family currently like working in ministry, which is very ironic. Anyway, I was forced to go, and the first 4 nights I was just trying to get laid, and then on the 5th night, they had specifically an altar call for suicide and depression, and then I was at the back of the crowd, and then I remember like an urge on me, and then I remember being at the altar. So I went through like 200 people to be at the altar, me and like 3 other people, and I was just sobbing. And then Josh prayed for me, his son, who was running the conference. He prayed for me. And then I got up and I was perfectly normal emotionally for the first time since like childhood, like elementary school. And I was like, that's weird.
How old were you then?
15.
Okay. I had a similar experience, but it was at 16, so it's not the same.
But I didn't fully convince myself that that was right. And right before this, I had already started doubting evolution as an origin of species because abiogenesis is the dumbest idea ever told. It's incredibly stupid. I'm going to be doing a stream with that with David Wood soon, just making fun of abiogenesis and the stupidity of it, going through intelligent design for the universe, which is also how he came to faith. So I started questioning my atheism, my materialism, because of essentially the design of the universe and how obvious it is that microbiology is designed. Like you can take a single look at it and be like, oh yeah, that has purpose. And what do I mean that random interactions between matter and energy, chance-based necessity, has purpose? So that didn't sit right with me. Decided to kill myself. Didn't happen. Got redeemed out of that. Super confused by it. So then I went and was like, okay, let's give this another look. And then I started studying the Bible more in depth. And then the next year, at 16, I fully gave my life to Christ. That same weekend, I then went and had butt sex with my girlfriend. So, not great. And then over the span of like 2 years, from like 16, 18, I slowly stopped having fornication. To the point where from 18 until I got married at 23, I actually didn't have any form of intercourse whatsoever, which was very weird for my previous degenerate life. So I was celibate for a number of years before I got my wife. And I also went from like using profanity as if it was, my voice, to not having any profanity come out of my lips for, I did once against my friend who was annoying me in 2018. So other than that one time, from 2015 till now, so around 11 years, I haven't done it at all. So I had a massive
Are
transformation.
you bothered
in my
by
life.
profanity?
No.
Okay. Because I'll try and censor mine. I cuss all the time, so I still want to know before I offend you. All right, so you're not cussing. You're doing good. All right, keep going. Sorry.
Anyway, so I got redeemed out of that, then eventually fully gave my life to Christ. And then we, yada, 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 a lot of years of backstory and randomness and a lot of stupidity in that process. And then end up getting married, having 2 kids, starting the YouTube channel, discipling people, teaching, and now we're here.
Oliver Black, I'm an evolutionist too. I go into it on my testimony.
Yeah, you can be a Christian evolutionist. Yeah,
so is IP.
I just don't.
Philosophy.
Yeah, I just don't think it's necessary. But that's its own debate. Which again, I don't think the answer to that debate actually matters that much. There is a valid position within both camps that the Bible is still true.
So, see what Elvis said.
Yes, you can be a Christian.
Yes, you can be a Christian and wrong. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's what you mean now.
So out of the blue question, but is it normal to have a faith crisis as you get older in your faith and are no longer a stupid kid who can ask questions? Yes, it is.
Yeah, super normal. And remember that if you're a parent, because whenever I started questioning my faith and like became an atheist, I remember thinking I was gonna have this horrible fight with my parents, and I had to summon up the strength to call up my parents because eventually I wanted to tell them because I'm close to my parents and I don't like to have this big block between us. So I call up my mom and I'm like, I don't believe in God anymore. I'm, sorry, but I just don't. And then she responded, well, if you're hungry, I made fried rice for dinner. I was just like, and then I just started crying because I had all this adrenaline amped up and I was ready to argue. And then it was just like, okay, well, the door's always open, is how they responded. And then a year later, I returned to the faith, but they showed me in that their love is always there. And then giving me that space to question and wonder, I think ended up ultimately helping me return to the faith. So that works two ways. Yeah, very normal as a kid for you to just build your own epistemic and noetic structures and figure out why you believe what you believe and all that. And it's no longer just based on your parents. But then at the same time, when you have kids, even my 6-year-old, she'll be like, I don't believe in God because my prayers don't come true. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I call her Squiddy, because when she was a baby, she kicked in the baby tub and it moved and it looked like a squid. Like, Squiddy, if I just had to say yes to whatever you asked me, what would you end up eating all the time? Well, just chocolate. Yeah. Would you ever sleep? No. You would stay up all night? Yeah. Like, what do you think that would do to your health? That'd probably be really bad. It's like, like in the same way, God's going to tell us no sometimes, and we don't see why.
Right. Speaking of Talon, I don't remember if I ever responded to your last email. If I didn't, I will try to. But if you do have any more questions, I know we were talking about Catholicism, but if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. You can contact me whenever, brother. Always open. Also, cussing is part of Southern culture. fully aware of that. Yeah, I grew up in the South, Tennessee, but
Except for my mom, she's an angel, and I try not to cuss around her or my dad. My dad, he'll occasionally cuss, and it'll be super funny. Like
all my friends were Mexican or black growing up, and they respect their mamas real hard because those are some fierce women. And my friend, he decided to call his mom a B word one day while she was cooking, and she
wait, is this
took
a Mexican?
hot.
Because she's going to chocolate him.
She is a Mexican. She took the hot frying pan she was using, dumped the food on the floor, and held it up to his face and said, "Say that to me again, boy." And he has never disrespected his mother ever again.
Have you seen the video of the Mexican? So the chancla is the sandal they smack you with, which my mom also used. But have you seen the video where there's that abuela, that Mexican grandma, and she gets a chancla and she throws it at that girl that's running away, and it goes like a whole football field, lands on this kid, knocks her down. Have you seen this? It is real. This is before AI. It's like 10 years old. But yeah, some of those abuelas, man, they're like dead eye, perfect aim.
Yeah. Wooden spoons and the sandals are indeed dangerous weapons. I actually had one of my Mexican friends, his mom, I was mocking her a little bit. I was like joking, and she whacked me with her wooden spoon that she cooks with. It broke on me because of how hard she whacked me with it. And then she complained that I broke her favorite spoon. And then threw the butt at me. I was like, what? It's your fault. Mexicans are fun people, man. Now I live in like the widest part of the country, so now I don't have any Mexican friends anymore. It's very sad. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, no. But I was gonna tell a story of my nickname as a kid was Squirt.
Wait, do we want to hear this story? I feel like this is a gross story. I guess it's too late now. Go ahead.
All right. The only person who ever called me this was my grandpa. And my grandpa started calling me at the age of like 4. So it's way less gross than what you're thinking.
Okay.
But apparently, and I remember this exact moment too. We all were playing baseball. Well, I was, wasn't playing yet, but I went back with the team because, boys are boys. And we all went back behind the field and we decided to all take a pee break together. So there's like 20 kids all peeing out the side of the brush area. And apparently my arc was so strong that it overshone every other boys there. And my grandpa was so impressed by it that he started calling me Squirt to refer to my powerful stream. So for the next 11 years of my life, up until he died, he called me Squirt. No context, none of that. No one else called me it. Literally just him.
When I was in
think about
second
that
grade, they had
constantly.
this big, I don't know if it's still called a urinal, but it was like a trough, and you're supposed to all pee into it. But we used to go stand at the side of it and we would try to pee all the way over it and see if we could hit the floor. So we'd aim up at like a perfect, 45-degree angle and launch that pee. Try to. It's like, yeah, I hit the floor.
You're the kids that end up peeing on the ceiling, aren't you?
Man, it was a gross bathroom. We had nobody to blame but us. We're like chickens. If you've ever seen chickens that coop, they poop in their food and their water. They poop on each other. They poop all over the floor. Just animals in there. Somebody asked me a question. I wanted to respond. I don't remember what it was. Let's see. Oh, my mom did have a wooden spoon, and she would pop us with it. And I one time got mad when I was a kid and got a Sharpie and drew a devil face on it. It's just like an angry face with horns, like saying like the spoon was the devil.
Yeah. So before I tell this, I want to preface it with me saying I was not abused as a kid. But my parents, apparently a newspaper is what they started with. And then they switched to a wooden spoon. And then they switched to a horsewhip.
Jeez.
Yeah. I've been whipped by a horsewhip a number of times in my life. I've whipped other people with it. For a variety of reasons.
Don't go into that. I don't want to know about that.
But yeah, my parents ended up started using a horsewhip. And one time, I got in trouble. I got an F. And this was the time period I didn't care whatsoever. And this was middle school. I knew I was going to get spanking. So I put on like 8 layers of underwear and 2 pairs of jeans. And then fake cried whenever it hit me. So I didn't actually get hit by the horsewhip.
I did that, but with newspaper. I shoved newspaper in my underwear. When me and my cousin were getting, I don't even remember what we did. I was like, oh, we're going to get lit up. Quick, find some newspaper and shove it in your pants. It's the only way we're going to get out of this alive.
Yeah. These things are pretty rough. They leave some
I've whipped myself accidentally with it, like trying to whip a horse. Have you ever whipped yourself with a horse whip? And even that hurts.
How do you whip yourself with a horse whip? Wait,
like when you're pulling it back, when you're like sending it back out, and it might whip your head,
Let me show what I'm talking about. See if you're talking about the same thing.
Okay. I'm thinking like Indiana Jones horsewhip.
No, not that.
Oh, you're talking about the one that has a stick first, and then the whip on the end of the stick? No. Okay, yeah. I've never
the little teeny tiny thing at the end, and the rod is the bulk of it. So you have like this strong, rigid leather and metal.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
And then
that's like for a carriage, I think.
Yeah, they hurt.
Oh, maybe
so see if I can get a better picture of it. Is it? Anyway, my dad was a farmer, so he just had a variety of these type of things. Not nearly as fun when you're trying to hurt someone with it versus when you're trying to have fun with it. But don't need to go into that side of my life. That's a crop. It was a straight, long leather and metal pole that hurt badly. That's what I know it as. So, I called it the horsewhip. I cannot confirm if it's literally a horsewhip. But anyway, I might go ahead and call it myself.
Yeah, I'm sleepy too.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sleepy, but I'm exhausted. So
I have to
I
go
am-
be a bad guy in a VBS play tomorrow, so I need my energy. And the character I'm playing is like super spastic and dances everywhere, so I need my sleep. Like I put on a flight suit and I have shoes that shoot lights out of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be on tomorrow with Ash Maze and Sons of Thunder. You may or may not join us then, and then I probably will have a video come out Friday. But
Their names are
I might
Andrew
not.
and Chase, correct?
They are Andrew and Chase. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty chill dudes, pretty cool dudes. Recommend their content. They go through a lot of stuff that I don't, because I just don't have the time for it. They're currently going through 7-day Adventism. They just got done with Mormonism. So if you're curious about either of those, go check them out. They've done a bunch of lengthy streams on the histories and theology and how to respond to different statements that they make. So cool dudes. Check them out. Thank you for coming out to this random mandatory stream for TikTok. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Also, Christian, you don't have. Oh, he already left. It's fine.